Drummers I Like podcast, episode 30. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. My name is Richard Ducat. I'm your host. And on the other line is my co-host, Kevin Charlelli. Kevin, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing exceptionally so, Richard. How are you?
I'm pretty darn good. Can't complain, man. I'm excited. It's episode 30. We are coming into a new year, and dude, like 2017, it's gonna be huge. I'm just super excited for the year. But how's things going on your end of the states of the country?
Going pretty well. I mean, just been busy as usual, doing the thing. I think it's pretty awesome that our like show going into the new year here. Obviously this is going to drop, the Friday before New Year's, but regardless, it's like the New Year's show, so to speak, and it's episode 30.
Right,
Like it's nice to hit 30 right, on the dot there for that kind of first show of the year, so to speak. So I think that's kind of cool, and yeah,
Yeah, man. It's been a lot of work. I'm excited. This has been like one of those weeks where shit is just happening left and right. We hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. We're hitting episode 30 on the podcast. We are balls deep into creating our new app. We're running contests right now for access to that, for a new T-shirt, for the new 10K. It's been an exciting week, but I am more excited about today's guest. You got to let us know who the guest is, Kevin.
We've got Tosh the drummer, Tosh Peterson.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. We've been chatting with Tosh for a very long time. He's actually one of the first people to reach out to request to do an internship with us, which kind of blew my mind because at the time I was like, this guy has like way more followers than us. He's huge online. He's a crazy good drummer. Why would he want to help us out? Ended up chit-chatting with him about it, and the workload was just a little bit more than I think he could handle at the time. That guy is busy. He's in like 50 bands, I think. But for the most part, we have kept up with each other since then. Developed a good friendship with Tosh, and we post his videos all the time. Everybody listening right now has probably seen him play. He's the shirtless beast. He's like insane to watch play, man. I'm excited to have him on today.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. It'd be interesting to get into a chat, and I can't wait to get that started.
Yeah, man. But before we do get it started, I do want to let everybody know that we are on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. And if you want to find us on Instagram and Twitter, it's @DrummersILike. If you're on Facebook, it's facebook.com/DrummersILike. And if you're on YouTube, youtube.com/user/DrummersILike. That is a mouthful. But that's how you can find us online. And if you don't mind giving us a couple comments on some of these new posts that we're putting out regarding these people we want to bring on the podcast. We want to get your requests, we want to get your reviews. So jump on the Instagram. We're asking questions. We are always engaging with our followers and our listeners, and we just want to know, what you think. We really do.
Yeah, definitely. To mimic what Rich said, we'd love to see the comments, and we really need your feedback to know who you guys want to hear on the show too, because we can't just let us pick them all. That's not very fair for us. So got to get them in it. And then the other thing that we need everyone to do is go and leave a review for our show. And do it on iTunes. You can do it on Stitcher. You can do it on Google Play. You can do it wherever. And like I've said, that's right, on the old Andrizzle. And like I said too, if you listen on our actual page, just go down to the bottom of the comment section there on a show that you're listening to, and just let us know what you think. Give us a little review that way right on the site. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you everybody that has left a review and everybody that's consistently engaging. I'm just like so excited with the social media flow. But I will say this, where our Instagram is like insanely heavy, I see weak points in Twitter and Facebook. So if you're following us on Instagram, pause the podcast, go facebook.com/drummers I like, or just open up that Facebook app, type in drummers I like. We're going to pop up. Give us a like, give us a comment, chit chat, message with us. We are always engaging. Shoot us a message that, tells us what drummers you want to see on. Email us, connect with us. We are in the works of updating our site to kind of include a bunch of extra detailed things that allow you guys to really connect with us and kind of help us shape the show a little bit better. So 2017 is really chopping up to be a good year for us, and we haven't even started yet. But I think that before we go off talking too much about the app and all this great things, I think everybody knows where to find us now. I think it's time to get this show started. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's time to kick off episode number 30 for 2017.
Tosh the drummer. Tosh Peterson, let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. Today I am super excited for the long-awaited show that we are bringing to you. We have with us today Tosh Peterson, known to many of you as Tosh the drummer. Tosh is endorsed by GoPro cameras, Vic Firth drumsticks, Thump drums, K-brakes, Kickstrap, Fusion brags, Destroyer drum clothes, and Knockout beaters. He's an independent drummer playing with a multitude of artists. And, besides seeing your playing online, Tosh, and being completely influenced as of lately, I'm just more than excited to have you on the show, man. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm stoked to be here, for sure.
Cool, man. Cool. We are excited to have you, dude. We've been chit-chatting for a while here. I was talking in our intro, we tried to do a little intern gig a couple months back, and to be honest, man, you're just like the busiest drummer that I've ever met for your age. And, we weren't able to put it together, man, but the friendship and the connection has kind of stayed, pretty apparent. And, it's cool that we finally made a show happen.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely stoked. It's been crazy doing so much stuff, and just, I'm stoked we made this work for sure.
Yeah,
Shout
we're
out
great.
to Tyler.
We're grateful to have you for sure.
Cool, thanks.
Cool, man. So like every episode of the Drummers I Like podcast, dude, we really want to get to know you. We know the face and we know the skill set, but I'm curious to know where it all started. How you found music, how you found that first drum set, how you learned what you've learned, and what led to ultimately where you are today.
Okay, wow. So this is pretty I have this question nailed down for sure.
Awesome.
When I was about 2 years old, I got a drum set from my parents, but it all originally started because my dad is a drummer also, and he played for Dave Wakeling from the English Beat and a couple other smaller names, but he. So basically, it was always in the house, and he was always playing drums, and he always had drums, and really just, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, so I really wanted to do it, and then he got me a drum set when I was 2 years old, and, since then I just wanted to practice, and I wanted to get good at drums, so I was always playing for, every day, all day. That's all I wanted to do was play drums. And then when I was 11, I met Thomas Pridgeon, and I got to start taking lessons with him, and so I would say that is that's really helped, made me the drummer that I am, So really that's really how I became who I am now, for sure.
That's pretty awesome, man. Kind of unpacking that a little bit, From that time you got that drum set, and before you met Pridgeon, did you get a lot of lessons in between? What were your influences? I'm curious to what ultimately led you to actually meeting Pridgeon. You didn't. I'm sure you didn't walk into him into the middle, and I'm sure you didn't walk into him in the streets. But I'm kind of curious to get a little bit more into the details in between.
Okay, so I actually never had any lessons until Thomas. That was my first real drum lesson was with Thomas Pridgeon, and but I would say I had a lot of influences. Earlier on, I would say I was. I had a really, I didn't just have, very many favorite drummers. I more just liked hearing them, hearing music, everything from, I would take the drum parts, that aren't even real drummers, just, pre-programmed parts on, hip-hop albums and stuff like that. And I loved that. I loved all, as a younger, I've always been a huge fan of like Snoop Dogg and rappers like that. Like my dad got me into those people when I was younger. So I would say my biggest influences weren't even like drummers. When I was younger, it would be like just like the the producers, who made
Yeah, yeah.
the beats for sure was like a huge influence on me when I was younger. But then as I got older, a little bit like 8 or 9, I started to get into a ton of different drummers. Just like I really got into the gospel chops thing, and that's when I became like super into Thomas Pridgeon. And it was just like I always wanted to be him. And I remember actually this one day I saw a video of him, and I was like, I'm gonna learn that fill. And I just kept working on it, and then like I figured it out, but I wouldn't show anyone until I got it to where I was happy with it. So as soon as I got it, like when I was happy with it, my dad came home from work one day, and he's like, "Hey, let's jam or whatever." And he picked out his guitar. We're playing, and I got that fill, and he stopped me, and he was like, "Where'd you learn that?" And he's like freaking out, and so that was like a huge part of like when I was like became super into Thomas Pridgeon, and that was when I was about 10, I would say. And I don't think the fill that I was playing was actually anything close to what he was playing, but it was what I thought it was. And so yeah, when I was like 11, he played a NAMM party. I didn't get to go to NAMM that year, but the NAMM party was right by my house, and so I wasn't actually old enough to get inside the bar that it was at. So my dad picked me up and held me in the window all night, and and as soon as like Thomas showed up, he recognized me from my Instagram, and like I posted I think like 3 or 4 videos at the time, but he had seen them, or I guess so. Yeah, so he got into like he just started talking about like my Instagram and stuff, and I was super stoked, and then he invited me to his drum clinic the next week. Like I told him I was going. He was like, "Yeah, dude, come for sure." And then he let me play in front of everyone, which was like crazy because I was like freaking out because I was such a huge Thomas Pridgeon fan. So I was like getting to play a stump drum set was like insane. Like and to now be playing thumb drums is crazy, but it's a lot of fun. And but yeah, that was like a huge part of like what made me the drummer I am for sure, because just being able to play with Thomas Pridgeon and like see him in person and stuff, and that he told me I was a great drummer, that was like crazy for me. Yeah, but since then I like a week later I direct messaged him on Instagram, and I asked him if he gave lessons, and he was like, yeah, and he was just like, yeah, hit me up and I'll let you know next time I'm in LA. And that was like 2 weeks later, and I got my first lesson with him.
Wow.
So
That's a great story.
I gotta pause everybody though here. I mentioned in the beginning that you didn't just meet him off the street, but you kind of just met him on the street.
yeah.
That is true.
I can't even get over that. That's so
fun.
funny. That's really awesome, man. And you know what? I kind of just connected with Pridgeon a couple weeks ago for the first time in person, and it just sounds like exactly the kind of thing he would do. He's such a wholesome and nice person. The fact that he would remember you and be able to come up to you and have a chat with you, that just shows the kind of person he is.
Oh yeah, totally. He was just so like cool to me. Like he didn't have to be cool to me. I was just some little 11-year-old that was a fan of him, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
he was totally like, dude, yeah, come to the drum clinic. He was stoked, and then he was like, hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my friend Tosh here. He's gonna play for you now. Like he had me play for everyone, like, and I was just like, it was like he didn't have to do that, but he wanted to, because he's so cool.
Well, you know, just to kind of say one thing about that too is it kind of is a testament to just kind of putting yourself out there too, because like you said, he recognized you from some Instagram and from some of your early videos, you know, and he saw your drumming, so he knew kind of, it's like, hey, you know, this kid knows what's up. So as soon as he recognized you, you know what I mean, it was able to even initiate that conversation and get you into that situation kind of. So
Oh
you know,
yeah,
it's just a good lesson for all the drummers out there. You know what I mean? Put something out there. You never know who might catch it, and you never know if you're going and seeing them sometime later. They may recognize you, and at least have a good conversation, and maybe, like you say, talk about your drumming or something of that nature.
yeah, totally. I was just like, no one's gonna. You could be the greatest drummer in the world, but you're never gonna get any gigs or be able to do anything if no one knows who you are.
Sure.
So it's kind of like, yeah, like that. I just want, like, yeah, I agree with you for sure. You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so kind of getting into, you met Pridge and you started getting some lessons, and you guys started creating this relationship. And I can clearly tell that you're influenced by his playing, but you really have started to develop your own dynamics, your own voice on the kit. And I can see that you were influenced by so many different players, but at the end of it all, your playing is so unique to you. I don't know anyone that plays like you. It's amazing that you've kind of cultured your own voice. I'm kind of curious. Is that something you think about when you're playing, practicing?
It's honestly not. I I don't know. My playing has just come from me wanting to get better as a drummer in general. Like, so I didn't want to be someone else because I'm like, well, that person's already doing that. So,
Of course.
like, I need to do my own thing. So, and also, like, a lot of that came from me trying to play what other people are playing, but I didn't realize exactly what they were playing. So I was
Right.
just like, so I'm just like making up my own stuff that's like that, like that I thought was basically what they were doing. And yeah, I don't know, the whole voice thing has just come from me trying stuff and just trying to think outside the box and just kind of like, oh, well, has anyone tried this or whatever? And like, I'll just do weird things with my hands and feet just to try to make it different or something. Like, I'll take a paradiddle and be like, well, I could just play a paradiddle, or I could add this in there and make it completely different. And to me, that's just like what I think sounds cool. So I play what I would want to hear almost.
That's
Sure.
what's up. That's what's up. Curious. I was curious about that question, and really wanted to know if you're conscious of that. And it's funny because, we all have our influences, and we have these drummers that we follow. And I think that when you get so caught up in like trying to learn so many different things, that's truly where you start to develop your own sound, your own voice, your kind of knack. You like to hear things a certain way from influences you've seen, and now you're developing, off the wall ideas, stuff that you don't see other people try because it's fun for you, which in turn has, helped you create this dynamic that makes you stand out from the rest.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that you think I stand out. That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
I can agree with Richard wholeheartedly. I mean, anytime I come across your videos, it's kind of like a treat. I'm like, oh yeah, got to watch this one. I mean, obviously, going through the drummers I like Instagram, I mean, we're seeing a lot of videos come across the board in the course of a day. But the Tosh videos are always stopped on. It's like, oh, look at this. This is just fantastic.
I appreciate that for sure. And that's another thing with my videos though, is I don't want to just show off like a chop that I'm learning. I just kind of want to like play, and that's something with my videos where it's like I don't want to sit there all day just to get like a perfect chop. Like, I film for about 3 minutes a day, and if I don't like anything that I did in that 3 minutes, then I just won't post that day.
Yeah.
I just play, and if I don't like pre-plan anything. I just press record and play the first thing that comes to my mind. And
Well, cool.
yeah, and if it doesn't come out in 3 minutes, if I don't like anything in that 3 minutes, then nothing gets posted that day. You know?
Yeah, that's a cool way to attack it too, because it's easy to like record a whole. I mean, me and Richard have talked a bunch about this, and it's like you record a big long session, of just jamming, and then you have to go back through, and it takes hours of going back
Yeah.
through and finding like one part that maybe, like you say, that was like, oh, I did that really well. But if you just give yourself a 3 minute window, then you're just like, bam, that's it. I only have to go through 3 minutes of this, and
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
see what comes out.
Yeah, and a lot of times if I find something cool when I'm watching it, like the first 20 seconds that I played, then I don't even watch the rest of it. I just post that.
You're like, oh, that was awesome. That's great.
I gotta admit, man, that first time we chatted, you had mentioned that to me. You're like, verbatim what you just said. And at the time, I was in such a funk because I was sitting in Logic with my electronic kit, recording 8-10 minute sessions, and then I would end up not ever going back because I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh, no way, that's just too much work. I'll just get better and take what I get next time. And since then, I've kind of taken the approach to, I'm going to track a minute, and I cut it down really short. And I started getting more videos out. I started being a little bit more, satisfied with the content that I was creating. And then I wasn't spending like 2 hours just trying to record. I'd spend a few minutes recording, and then I just jam the rest of the time or work on stuff that I wanted to work on and really delegate my time on the kit better.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Like that, I wanted to be practicing, not just filming like me doing a groove for like 20 minutes just to sift through that to see if there was like a good part of it, the sound that felt right or whatever. Like I wanted to be using that time to actually practice, you know, and like get better at drums and stuff. So I can just use that time to do that and just take 3 minutes to find like a good sounding part. So it just I felt like it helps my practice because I know so many people that go through hours of footage a day. It's like I don't really want to do that. That's time that I
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, that's great. I just wanted to touch on something there, Tosh. Your practice, like, what is a practice session like for you? I mean, you're busy doing bands. Obviously, you've got tons going on. Like, what's your practice schedule like?
so my practice schedule, like now that I have this, I have a soundproof room that we just got built in my garage,
Nice.
and so I can play there a lot more than I could like in my living room, which is where I always was before that. And so basically, like I'm homeschooled, and so I basically I just want to first thing I do. It's always different what time I start, of course, but what I always want to do is warm up, which I've been like getting better at because I noticed like sometimes like a couple months back before I was warming up, like I would feel my arms would start to like hurt when I'm playing and stuff, and I felt like different stuff that I was like, oh, today feels like I just feel like I'm having a bad day, like on drums. And it didn't like it would feel right, and every day was different. Like one day I'd feel like really like okay, now this everything feels really good, and the next day it'd feel like terrible. And so I just developed like a warm up routine that I do every day. That's it's just based off getting the hands and feet moving basically on the drum set. So as I started doing that, I felt like it made the whole rest of my practice time better and stuff. So yeah, basically I do that, and that takes up about half an hour to an hour, just to warm up, get everything moving, just for a whole practice thing. If I have plenty of time, if I have less time, then I'll probably only do it for like 15, 20 minutes. But I usually do like half hour, 45 minutes of warm up, and then I just start practicing different stuff, and I just try to do different things that I didn't do the day before or whatever, So I'm just like, okay, well, I'll like think of different stuff in my head and like think of different rudiments and like try putting them together with my hands and feet, or doing one rudiment on my hands and feet and something else on my hands, and just trying to challenge myself and do weird stuff. And so I do that at first, and then like for everything that I practice, I always have the click track going. But then after I do all that, I'll like turn it on in a different time signature and just work on crazy time signatures and putting rudiments in different time signatures, and just trying to think of original stuff that is like I haven't done yet, and just try to make myself a better drummer for sure. Like that's just like the main thing I want to do. So just yeah, it's always different. Like there's not just one thing I make sure I have to practice that every day. Besides the warm up, really, it's always just I just make up stuff, and then of course I practice like putting different licks that I've come up with or like seen other people do. I practice putting those into songs, so I'll just turn on a couple different songs and play along. I like to every day play along to like as many different genres as I can. So I'll turn on a hip hop track, play to that, and practice putting the licks in there, and then I'll put that same lick in like a metal track or something. And yeah, I know it's
cool.
And, then I play along to some jazz tunes, some Oscar Peterson in there. Then after that, just like every genre that I can think of, and trying to throw these different licks that I've come across or came up with, and put those in these different songs. So, all over that, like that takes up a lot of my practice time. And then of course I have, just learning music if I have to, for different sessions or shows or stuff or whatever it may be. So that's pretty much the practice routine.
That's a good breakdown. That's an awesome breakdown, and I especially like the warming up, the emphasis on warming up, because it's good to hear, a young lad such as yourself mention in warming up. Because as I've gotten older, now I appreciate warming up more. So, there for a long time, I never really paid it no mind, and then, started getting a little bit of pain in the elbow sometimes before, after playing some post playing pain,
Yeah,
and through some warm ups, kind of made it better. So,
yeah, and a lot of that came from my dad like telling me that like after every show like he'd be in pain the next day like and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to have that, like I
yeah,
don't want
yeah, yeah, for
to be after
sure.
every show. I'm like, if I'm going to be playing this many shows, I don't want to be in pain, So, another friend of mine, Connor Dennis, he's a really sick drummer too. He showed me a couple like warm ups and stretches that he does before every show, and like, so that was really cool. So now like I do those before I even just practice every day, and so it's yeah, just all those are really just like I don't want to be hurting after every show or anything like that because that would suck.
Oh yeah, I feel you. I mean, so I think they're all important, and even if it's don't even get too wrapped up in like playing crazy. I mean, it's all about just trying to relax and get everything moving. So, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
just like double strokes or slow paradiddles and just playing them with hands and feet, just kind of like in unison. You know what I mean? Just even something just to get blood flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a huge thing. I just want to be able to get my hands moving, especially now it's Christmas time and it's cold in the morning, even in
Yeah.
Southern California.
It's been very
Yeah.
cold lately.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. You're right. Well, I think it's kind of time to move on. I think we'd all kind of like to hear a little bit more about your specific drum setup and cymbal setup and kind of how you do it and why you use what you use and your preference. Yeah, I can't really speak today, but preferences in general.
All right.
So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I play thump drums, and so on my drum set right now, it's I play a 24 by 19 bass drum, and yeah, I made it 19 inches just because everyone else had 18 inches and 20 inches. So I wanted to try something different just so I could tell people I had that. And then I have a 12 by 7 rack tom and a 16 by 14 floor tom. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I also have a 22 by 21 floor tom that I have. So yeah, I don't use that all the time, but I use that. I still use it, of course, but it's not on my setup right now.
Sure.
And
It's a serious drum.
yeah, for sure.
That's my kick drum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's serious business.
Yeah, I was gonna do it like 20 by 16, and then Andrew at Thump Drums, he's like super creative and stuff. He's like, well, I mean, the shell's 22 inches deep. Why don't I just cut off and do the bearing edges or whatever, and then it'll just be 21 inches deep. And I was like, and he's like, let's just do that because like not many people have that. And I was like, okay, let's do that then.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's the reason why I have that drum pretty much. Uh, But yeah, and then snare drums, I'm always switching off. I have a lot of different snare drums that I really like. So right now, I would say I'm using it's a 14 by 6 Gretsch aluminum snare with wood rims.
Oh, nice.
So I have that I won in a drum magazine contest.
Oh, sweet.
And
That's
yeah,
even nicer.
that's like the snare that I've been using the most lately. But then I also have a Thump Drums 14 by 8, which all his drums are fiberglass. Sorry, but yeah. So I have that one that I use a lot too. And then I just had I was just trying out a 13 by 7 Predator percussion canary wood stave snare, and it was yeah. So those are like the 3 snare drums. Oh, and then also 14 by 5.5, I believe. Also aluminum Love custom drum snare. So yeah, those are like drums, like those 4 snares I switch off. Yeah, 4 snares. I switch off between those a lot. And, but yeah, I use thump drums. They work for pretty much everything I do. So it's really awesome to not have to like be going back and forth between different setups for different gigs because like I don't know, it seems to work for everything I've ever had to do with since I've gotten them. So yeah, I play those, and then Zildjian cymbals. I have 15-inch A new beat hi hats. I'm playing those right now, which are like my favorite hi hats of all time.
Dude, my favorite too. Those are my favorite hats.
I play 15-inch newbie hi-hats as well.
Yeah, Kirsten, I wasn't even expecting that. That was like a surprise from Kirsten over at Zildjian, and
Cool.
it was a set of cymbals, and those hi hats were in that, and I was just like, I didn't like because I had played the 14-inch A Custom Master Sounds before that,
Mhm.
which are amazing hi hats also. But as soon as I got those, I was like, okay, I'm never playing anything else but these. So it was insane. My crash cymbals, I'm like always switching. Right now, I have a 19-inch A medium thin crash up front, up on my left. But I mean, I'm always switching that with like the Crash of Doom and stuff like that, which is one of my favorite cymbals. And then my favorite ride cymbal of all time is the 24-inch K-Lite ride. That cymbal is just insane. It's the best sounding ride cymbal I've ever played in my life. Like it's crazy. And then I have a stack with the Zildjian sound off cymbals. I have that on top of two Crash of Dooms, and it's an 18-inch sound off, and so that's my stack right now. So I love stacking cymbals. So those are really sick. Which I just got those the sound off cymbals for Christmas, and so like just in the past like 2 days or something, like 2 or 3 days that I've had that on my setup, and it sounds amazing. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Check it out on the videos.
Yeah, it's on all my videos since then. So
Definitely cool. Very cool.
I'm kind of curious too. I want to jump in now. You know, in your endorsements, you have a K brakes and a kick strap endorsement, and I'm very curious on how you use those two together.
okay, yeah. So that's what a lot of people are curious about. That I use the kick strap a lot on my hi hat, which is like has been like a big problem for me was having my hi hat slide because I stomp on that thing like really hard. So yeah, so that was always like a big problem was getting my hi-hat to stay still. So that's what I use my kick strap for that mostly. And then I also use it on my bass drum if I'm on like wood floors. That helps a lot. But yeah, and then the K-brakes I leave on my bass drum. So that stops that from sliding. So it's the two of them work together really well for between my bass drum and hi-hat. So
Two peas in a pod.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually got we and Kevin had a pair of K brakes sent to us, so we're doing a show with them actually sometime soon here. But yeah, man, they kind of saved my kick drum life. I thought that I was just gonna deal with this till death, and that I would never be happy playing drums. But those not to do a physical endorsement for them right now, but damn, those K brakes rule.
Oh, dude, they work for sure. They really work.
That's a cool idea.
It really is.
It is.
So before I move on to where I want to move in the conversation, one thing I want to bring up real quick is that you recently moved into a studio. You've changed the area that you play drums, and I'm curious on why you did that and what the advantages are of the new move.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a pretty funny story. Back in April, I think it was, one of my dad's good friends who he's recorded me a couple times, and like he's a teacher at Cal State Dominguez Hills. He's the engineering teacher. So he's one of my dad's good friends. His name is Josh McKendry, but he had to get rid of the room because he was moving, and it's like a portable room that you have to take it apart. It's really hard to do that. And but he was like, if you guys want it, you can have it. If you just come break it down with me and then take it home. So that was back in August. But then he went to Hawaii for the summer. So then I just got it back in September, I believe it was. Or yeah, in September we got it, and then it took us that long to put it together till until late November, early December. So it was a lot of work, but it's worth it for sure because the sound is it's crazy, and I can play a lot later now because of that. Because before I would have to stop by 6 every night. Otherwise, my neighbors would call the cops. I mean, they even called the cops at like 3 in the afternoon a couple times.
Nah.
Yeah,
Punks.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that was a problem. But as soon as I got that, everything from just being able to play more to yeah, like I don't feel bad like when my little sister's trying to practice on her keyboard in the living room, which is where my drum set was. So like now I can set it up. It's always in my in the sound room now. It's in my garage, and so I can play a lot more. The sound quality I think has gone up on my videos, and I don't use any mics. I always just use the GoPro footage, which is always sounds sick. But it's a lot better being in a tight room compared to like a big open wood living room. You know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, so there's a lot of advantages to moving out to the garage in the soundproof room. So
You got an AC unit?
what was that?
Do you get a little AC unit in there?
Not yet. I'm going to though because I know it's gonna get hot. But lately it's been so cold since I got it set up. I didn't even want one because I go in there and believe it or not, I wear a shirt and a jacket, which is crazy.
You wear a shirt?
Yeah, a shirt and a jacket. I know a lot of people didn't think that was possible, but
Yeah, I just want to mention to our listeners right now, Tosh has video on, and he's not wearing a shirt. He's sticking to his brand of cap and no shirt. So-
yeah. Yeah. I always have that, and yeah. So it's been cold though, but I'm gonna get one soon because I know it's California, so the summer gets hot. Well, the rest of the year gets hot, and then these last 2 months have been cold. But yeah, it's gonna get hot soon. So
I'm in Florida, so I know exactly what you mean. I think it was like Christmas here was like 80 degrees. You could have worn I could have worn shorts. I wasn't going to wear shorts, but I could have.
oh yeah, yeah. It's California and Florida. I mean, Florida it's all humid, so it feels even hotter, probably, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what's nice is this time of year we do kind of get a little bit of a break from the humidity. I don't know, I guess. I mean, it just depends on how the rain comes through. But yeah, you're right. Generally, I mean, it's all I know, so I don't even know what dry feels like. I'm just used to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
Wet.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll say Christmas was like 30 degrees when I woke up. I walked my dog really early around 5:36, and it was like 38 degrees out or something like that.
was it really? See, I wish it would have been 38 degrees here.
Yeah, I'm going to Utah this weekend with one of my friends, and the high is like 30 degrees, and I'm like, okay, that's I'm in California, like that's not what I'm used to.
Damn, man. Well, I think we've covered a lot here in this episode, and before we trail off too far, I really want to get into our rapid singles.
All right, let's do it.
So, for all our new listeners, Rapid Singles is our speed question round. Here, we're going to go through 6 questions with Tosh, and they're going to cover a ton of different scenarios that are geared to provide, some value here for our listeners. And, maybe you might find yourself in some of these situations. You're looking for some guidance yourself, and a route that Tosh may take might be a route that could be good for you. So, without further ado, let's get it started. Okay. Question number 1. What was holding you back from becoming the successful drummer you are today? So what was that hurdle that you had to get over to where you really felt confident in, say, getting those videos online and really starting to create coverage of yourself?
I mean, I think what was holding me back of posting videos at first was not having a phone that posted Instagram videos at first. So that was the biggest problem. The only reason I posted the Instagram videos was so Thomas would see them because I saw that he had followed my Instagram for some reason. So yeah, so that was like the reason. So I just had to ask my dad to use his phone at first. So that was really a problem. I was never really I would say I was never really like too shy to post a video because I was never embarrassed to have someone see me play drums, I guess. So yeah.
I see. All right. So it's the barrier of getting the phone or the video camera to get those videos online. That's what was holding you back.
Yeah.
Basically. He
you know,
just as soon as he could get the technology in his hands, it was off.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't stopped posting videos since then.
Right?
all right. So, moving on to question number 2. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received from another drummer?
Okay. Um, Best piece of advice is probably I would say from Thomas, of course, just just don't care, just play. Like don't worry like about anything, just play and work on you and get better at what you're doing and what you want to do. So I would say, yeah, that was probably like one of the best pieces of advice that he gave me, like within like one of my first like 1 or 2 lessons. As he was like, just do you, just play. He was like, you're a good drummer, so just keep being a good drummer and get better at what you could do. I would say so. Yeah, that was a good advice for sure.
It's actually great advice. It's really easy to get caught up in the BS online, and the popularity score and having as many likes or followers and blah 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 blah. That can really hinder your performance. So that's something really good. That's a really good quote here for our listeners now. If you're worried about anything else but you and your playing and your progression, then you're worried about the wrong things when it comes to playing drums.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Damn good answer. So moving on to question number 3. What's a personal habit that contributes to your success?
A personal habit. I would say. Now this I don't know how this is gonna come across, but I'm pretty competitive, I would say. So I don't know if that's just I want to be better. I'm competitive like against myself. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I want to get better than what I did like in my last video, like or whatever, like in like a couple of videos ago, like or like even like a couple of months ago, I'll be like, man, I played like that. Well, I gotta get better so I can do like I can beat what I did already. So like I don't know. Yeah, I would say just I'm pretty competitive. I would say that helps, just wanting to get better.
That's a great
Definitely.
answer.
And
I
I love
almost say it's like it just drives your personal performance. You know what I mean? You're just motivating yourself kind of to be better within yourself.
yeah, exactly.
But you're competitive in that aspect, which that's kind of interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, and and also I love drums, which isn't a bad habit. I can't stop playing drums all the time. I always have drumsticks, whether I'm playing on my lap, with forks on the dinner table or whatever. Like I'm always playing drums.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know how that goes.
I miss playing drums all the time. But moving on to question number 4. Share a resource or a tool that helps you survive as a drummer. So it could be anything from something on your drum kit that you can't live without, a specific rudiment, an app that you might use. It could be anything, but you use it every day. It's a big part of your playing, and it's a tool you would consider you need to survive when you play.
When I'm playing drums, I need socks because I don't think my foot can function without socks on. In the drums because I can play in like a tennis shoe, but it is way harder than wearing socks when playing. I don't know if that and then my Vic Firth metal and drumsticks, of course. Those I play every single gig with those. So
Which sticks are those? Say this again.
Vic Firth metal end.
Metal N.
Yeah, they're really big.
The metal nylon. They're nylon tip, but they're like, I don't know. They're like, are they bigger? Just slightly bigger than like rock size?
Yeah, I think they're 17 and a half inches.
Okay.
So yeah, they're a little bit bigger than a lot of the sticks, and they're pretty fat too, but they're not like as fat as marching sticks, which is nice. They're just I like the length of them for sure. Like that's a huge thing with me is like the length on the drumstick.
Yeah.
Just
it's important to find what works for you too. I've gone through plenty of drumsticks trying to find that comfort zone.
yeah. And what's crazy is I never even like had to like search for these. It's just what my dad played. So it was always like what I had in the house to play with anyways. So I don't know. Like now, if I play anything else, it just feels weird. Like yeah, I can't play without these pretty much.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah, man. I like the longer sticks. I have to check those metal ends out. I've been playing with these ProMark Rebound 536As or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I like them, but I long for a longer stick. So
Yeah, these are
check
really
those out.
these are really long. So I like these for sure.
Cool, man. So moving on to question number 5. If you could recommend just one book, what would it be and why?
Oh
Drumming book, that is. Drumming book, that is.
yeah. I was gonna say Charlotte's Web, but I guess it has to be a drum book. So no, I don't know.
Got jokes.
Yeah, a drumming book. Jake Reed, who I took like 2 or 3 lessons with, in between the time that I was already taking lessons with Thomas. He's a great jazz drummer, and I cannot remember the name of his book, but it's I'm pretty sure it's his only book that he has out. But it's Jake Reed is his name, and he's a great drummer and a great teacher. So I would that book for sure. Whatever it is, whatever it's called, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's definitely a great book.
Is it Jazz Drum Sets Etudes Volume 1?
I believe that's it.
That's it. I found it. I
Awesome.
Googled it.
Ah,
Put a link in the show notes for everybody.
Yeah.
definitely.
Nice. That's a new one, man. I'm going to have to go looking forward to checking that one out.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, so moving on to our infamous question number 6. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, well, I think so. I don't know.
All right. Imagine you woke up tomorrow in a world exactly like ours. You still have all the knowledge, the talent, and the skill you have as a drummer. You still have all of it, but you don't know anybody. You have $500. You have a smartphone, a small portable drum set with transportation to gigs. Your room, your board, and your food is covered. What would you do from there to kind of get yourself back on the bandwagon and grow yourself as a drummer, start getting gigs, and get yourself back out there?
Oh man, uh, I would have to say just if I don't know if they're still there in this world, but just get back on the whole posting videos thing.
Yeah, the world's the exact same. It's the
Oh,
same
okay.
world that we're in. Yeah, you just don't know anybody.
So-
You're an alien.
So I would definitely I would just get on Instagram if I didn't know who anyone was, because it's like I don't know, it's a really easy tool to find people
Mhm.
and find other musicians. So I would get on there and I would just start marketing, try to sing that finding reps and stuff, and just doing what I can to find more people who can help me with my career. So I would say definitely the social media thing. So get on there and just start searching. I guess I don't know. That's a hard question, but
No, but that's a great answer. I mean,
Yeah.
to not even complicate it. A lot of people get really into detail, which is what we like, but at the same time, it's a good testament to the simplicity of it all in this world. That what, if you have a smartphone and you're at least halfway as good as Tosh, you can at least post some videos online and start getting a little bit of coverage, start getting yourself noticed. And through Instagram, people are posting their gigs, they're posting events, they're posting shows, everything with the address for you to go see them and show them the work that you've done. I think you've already painted the picture, Tosh, throughout this whole entire episode. The story of you is really the story of what every drummer should do had they ever end up been found themselves in that situation, or are in that situation now and just kind of looking to get the show going.
yeah, and that's another thing is just get out and go to things like just go to the well, I don't know if well, yeah, I mean, if it's the same world, I'll still have endorsements, so I'll go to NAMM. And just go to NAMM, go to drum clinics, go to everything I can to just network, just
Mm-hmm.
it's just keep it simple and just do it,
Keep
Absolutely.
it simple. I like that. I like the answers, man, and I really like the approach to the show. And how you've really been able to tackle our rapid singles with a really simple approach. I think it's a testament to how a lot of our users need to, or our listeners rather, need to approach the way they market themselves, kind of post themselves online, that whole world, and they can really take a page from your book. Really can. But I think that getting through these rapid singles now, we've come near the end of our show.
Awesome.
And,
That's right.
I think it's time to wrap things up. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think this chat here, Tosh, has been awesome. I think you're wise beyond your years from hearing everything you've had to say today.
An old
So
soul.
keep up the great work, because it's doing really well for you, and we enjoy it greatly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on the show for sure. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's been our pleasure.
But before we cut the line here, I'd love you to take some time here to give any shout outs to friends, families, endorsers, sponsors, Instagram followers, anybody. Now's your time to shine.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, shout out to my dad on Instagram as Daddy Drum Tech. Shout out.
Followed.
Yeah, shout out to, my whole family for letting me make noise in the living room for since I was 2 years old, well, my whole life. Of course, shout out to all my companies: GoPro, Vic Firth, Thump Drums, K-Brakes, Kickstrap, Knockout Beaters, Fusion Bags, and Destroy a Drum Clothes. I mean, there's so many people. Yeah, shout out to everyone who follows me on Instagram. I appreciate that you guys enjoy watching my videos. And seeing me just bang away on drums all day. So, thanks to everyone, all my drummer friends who've helped me out, given me any tips, Connor Dennis, Benzo, Baltimore, everyone. Thomas Pridgeon, Jake Reed, everybody that's done anything like that. I appreciate that for sure.
Awesome, man. I think sure they appreciate you too, and we definitely appreciate once again you taking the time to hang out with us today, and the listeners are going to really appreciate this show, man. So thanks again, and have a great night, enjoy your week, and enjoy your holidays.
Awesome. You too, guys. Thanks.
Hey, thanks again, Tosh.
All right, see you.
Take care. Well, there you have it, everybody. Tosh Peterson, or Tosh the Drummer, as you may very well know him as. Kevin, that was a great show, man. I'm super impressed by, how, like you said, man, he's well beyond his years as far as the way he thinks. And, of course, man, he's just ages ahead of at least how I feel I was at 15. I was not thinking that deeply about practice, warm-ups, what I should be doing, how to get better, having my own voice, all those little things that he is just on top of. Imagine where he's going to be in 10 years. It's going to be insane.
Oh, yeah.
And not even our age yet.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and it, my point is exactly to your point, where I mean, like I say, wise beyond his years, and thinking about things that, like you said, younger drummers don't often think about. That was why I kind of pointed out in the show about the warm-ups, and kind of really wanted to dig into that a little bit, because it didn't even cross my mind until. It wasn't until I was starting to have some hand, wrist, or elbow pain, you know what I mean? Just go, I wonder if I should be doing this a little differently.
Dude, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, he's just well off, man. I can't even add much more to it. I just completely agree. And something that really stood out in the chat though was just really his attention to detail when it comes to the time he wants to take to get his videos together, the time he wants to practice, what he wants to practice on. It's just, like I said, once more going back to that beyond his years mentality, dude.
I love his 3-minute video. I do. I mean, and I guess you would talk to him about that, but I wasn't aware, so that was brand new for me. And I was just like, wow, what a beautiful idea! Just be like, here, I'm turning this on. It's going to be 3 minutes, and that's all I'm dealing with.
Right, dude. I just read this article last night about time blocking. Trying to figure out better ways to kind of like get my productivity up when I work. And one of them was almost specific to that. You pick out a specific time, you work in that specific time, and no matter what you've done or how far you've gotten, you stop at the end. and you move to the next task, or you completely, take your break, whatever it is. But you set those time frames, you stick to them, and you get things done better, and you produce higher quality work because you are already well informed of all the stipulations. You're just there to make sure that you play as well as possible.
There we go. See that?
Yeah. So, man, that was just a chock full info episode, man. And I don't think I have much more to say, but go back, rewind, listen to it again. Make sure you're taking notes because this is one for the books. Making episode 30, and the first episode going into 2017, a serious banger. Bashaw.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Richard, I guess tell all the folks one more time about all of our media channels.
Okay.
Tell them all.
Start with my favorite here, Instagram. That's at Drummers I Like. At Drummers I Like, all one word. Twitter, same thing. At Drummers I Like, easy to remember. Go follow us. Our Twitter count is not that high. I'd like to have like 50 kabillion, jillion, million followers, and we have like 500 right now. So if you're listening and you have Twitter, which you might or might not, just help us out. Go give us a follow. Same thing with Facebook. We like the numbers that we're seeing, but we would love to engage more because unlike Instagram, Facebook kind of offers us a little bit more of a deeper connection and a deeper ability to really get in tune with listeners, get messages, go back and forth on posts, really get your opinion on things. And if you're on Facebook, just go in the search bar at the top, type in Drummers I Like. We will pop up. Give us a like, give us a comment, shoot us a message, shoot us, reviews, shoot us, anything that you think could be done to make the show better. We'd love to hear anything you'd like. And if you're not already doing, and if you are already following us on all those accounts, then Kevin, let them know what they should do after they've followed us on all our social media accounts.
Well, just like I mentioned, I think in the beginning of the show, you got to go leave us a review. You got to go on either iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, go onto our site, leave us a comment, let us know what you think of it on there if you're listening to it on our page. And the beautiful thing in all this is if you guys do enough of that reviewing and subscribing, we don't even mention it in the show. You won't even have to keep hearing it at the beginning and the end of every show that we do.
Yeah, I'll shut up. I swear I'll shut up.
I'll shut up too.
Oh man, yeah. So that really covers it for our social media channels. Wait, I didn't mention YouTube. YouTube.com/user/ Drummers I Like. Yeah, but you'll find it. You type in Drummers I Like in Google, and you will see all our channels, our webpage, access to our podcast links because we made it that way. We work very hard to make sure that when you type in Drummers Podcast in Google, the Drummers I Like page shows up. And if you just want to type our name in and search us in Google because you're bored, do it. I dare you.
Well, we'll come up. That's the nice thing.
That's the best part. Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think until next week, it's about time.
Yes, it is. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. And Kevin, man, thanks for a great show. And a big shout out to Tyler for putting this thing together and making sure it happened on time this week.
Yeah. Everything went off without a problem, and we are grateful for all of our interns' help, especially some of our new guys that are coming on board, and excited to really get this year going. So, till next week, we'll talk to you all later.
All right, everybody. Take care, Kevin. Have a good night.
You too.
See ya.